Good afternoon, Show Me Nourish Land. Welcome, welcome. We are back for the Daily Bite podcast today. Come on in and join us. Let me just get things prepped up here and ready to go for this conversation today. You're waiting for the computer to respond. So, welcome in, everyone. Happy Saturday. Today's topic, I've almost thought about changing today's topic. I'm talking about obstacles today in the new year. That is about what I'm wanting to change it to, but we're not. We're going to talk about the nervous system today. That is what we are going to talk about today. So let me pull this up here for today's conversation. Let me get my stand here for everyone to be able to join us in here. Hello. Grab a drink. Come in. Say hello. Today's conversation is all about the nervous system. Like I said, I thought I might change this conversation to obstacles in the path, but for 2026, but we'll save that one for another day. I have had every obstacle in my pathway today, every obstacle. And you know what, Lord? I have surpassed every one of them. We're here. We are here. Every time I have said, it's time. I know I'm late, but we're here. So grab a drink, pull up a chair. Let's have this conversation. All right, today we're going to talk about the nervous system. So today's Daily Bite is all about the nervous system, and we're going on the same path as yesterday. Yesterday we talked about the flu, the viruses, the CDC, what they, are reporting, the early signs and symptoms that your body is breaking down. So we talked about that yesterday. We're going to continue talking about that today. Only today's specific conversation is going to be around the nervous system. So come on in and let's have this conversation. So if you'd like to join in on the conversation, all you have to do is put your conversation piece into the comments, what you would like to speak upon. I'll bring you on and we can have the conversation. Also, if you would like to be featured on the Daily Bite, you would like to have a question answered with you present, go ahead and go up into that link in the bio, schedule your day and time to be a part of the Daily Bite. You can do that. Absolutely. You can choose your package and you can come into the Daily Bite and you can have your questions answered, or you can have a special coaching session with me and we can have a great conversation. All right, so today's topic, the nervous system. Nervous system comes before nutrition. That is today's topic. We're talking about the respiratory season. Yesterday we spoke about the flu, the viruses, the signs and symptoms that your body gave you before you actually came down sick, or if you have, had a past history of illness, etc. Your body's giving you warning signs, and I'm just giving you the information, the education. That is what we do here. So let me introduce myself. My name is Michelle Rawls. I am a licensed nutritionist, a licensed nurse. I am a certified diabetic education specialist. I am a certified menopause coach, and I'm very close to finishing my plant-based coaching. So with that being said, what my story is that back in 2014, I collapsed on the nursing floor. The doctors told me that there was nothing left that they could do for me. I needed to make funeral arrangements. I left the hospital AMA after ripping my IV out of my arm, told them I was no longer doing Western medicine. God would either heal me or he would take me. And I immediately came home and I began calling local farmers, growing my own food. To this day, I still grow my own food. I still get all my food through local farmers. I still have developed and continue to develop even a bigger list over the past 11 years as I have continued to remain cancer-free because I have chosen to heal through real food, not today's market food. And I teach people how to heal, treat, and prevent illness and disease all through food. So if that's you and you're interested and you want to know more, stay right here. Today's topic of conversation is the nervous system comes before nutrition. What does that even mean, right? So dive into the conversation with me. go ahead and come on in, be a part of the conversation today. Welcome back to the Daily Bite. I'm so grateful that you're here with me. I am here every single day, most of the time at 10 a.m. If I'm not here at 10, I'm here at 1. You will need to follow and be subscribed to the page in order to know what goes on here. So today we're here at 1. So let's go ahead and jump on into this conversation. And yes, I'm trying to stay hydrated, very much so. I got 2 grand boys with the croupy cough, whatever that may be. We've been treating it with honey, vitamin C fruits, veggies, pouring protein in them, making sure they're getting their good amounts of protein. And luckily enough, it has been working just fine without having to go to the doctor. So we stay away from them. We do not entertain them. All right. So today's Daily Bite. Well, let me plug this up here. I didn't realize I was unplugged. All right, so let me come over here and grab this. Sorry, guys. Didn't realize I was unplugged and my computer started going a little dim on me. All right, here we go. So today's episode is all about the real foundation of healing. That is what we're talking about with our nervous system today. As you guys know, your nervous system, it is the foundation of our body. Because the respiratory system is heavy, regulation matters more than motivation. So we talked about this in the Daily Bite. For those of you not familiar, for those of you who haven't followed, for those of you who haven't subscribed, every day there is a Daily Bite that comes out at 9 a.m. You can catch that Daily Bite. It's a little bit of education on how you can change one thing in your day to help you be healthier, to have better habits, and to hopefully move forward in 2026 with a better, healthier year. So if you, excuse me, if you want to know more about your health, if you want to dive deeper into your health, if you want to take action on your health, you can come into my group coaching on the Daily Plate, or you can come into my one-on-one program. So again, link is up in the bio. So again, let's talk about what the CDC is reporting as far as respiratory illnesses. We spoke a little bit on this yesterday. Again, they're saying that it's a high RSV season. Elevated, numbers are coming in. They're talking about how there's more ER visits, more hospitalizations, mainly though in the children of 0 to 4, right? COVID activity is low at this point. They are seeing some numbers in some areas rising. However, I encourage you to do your research, okay? A lot of times and we all know this. We know this from COVID. We know that there is a huge situation with inflating numbers, okay? And I'm just not all about it. So do your research. Do your own research. I put it out here in what I find, and I leave it out here for a conversation. There's a reason why, okay? So let's translate this. The environment is loaded right now, right? It's got all kinds of toxins within it. But the biggest thing that we want to make sure that we don't do is panic. That's what we don't want to do. We just want to respond, okay? We want to respond with how we ourselves can actually heal our own bodies, take care of our own bodies, and not pay attention to all these numbers out here. What can I do to actually make it better for me? What can I do in my health, in my journey to make it better? That's the question that you want to ask, okay? You don't want to be out here listening to all of the numbers that they say they're reporting, okay? And there's many reasons why. Guys, if you haven't been here, then let me give you a little education, okay? As I said earlier, I healed my body, healed my cancer through real food. I chose not to do Western medicine. I chose to leave Western medicine. They had 14 years to help me heal my body, my leukemia. And they did nothing other than make me sick, other than drug me up. I was on 19 different medications. I walk in because I didn't walk in. I was wheeled in because had been in a wheelchair for a year. But I go into the hospital because I had collapsed on the nursing floor. And, I'm being told to make funeral arrangements. I've got young kids at this point, and I'm being told to make funeral arrangements. No, no. Hence the reason why I ripped my IV out of my arm and said I was done. I signed myself out AMA, and I haven't been back to Western medicine since. And within a year of changing to real food, soil to table food, connecting with farmers, growing my own food, I healed my cancer. I am still cancer free, and it'll be 11 years total January 14th. So I'm excited. That's going to be a huge day to celebrate. I can't wait to celebrate that day because that's the day that they told me to make funeral arrangements, and that's the day that I celebrate. I still go back. I still have my numbers read. I still do all the things just to make sure that it is still in its little uh, hibernation mode, which it is. Here's the thing with lymphocytic leukemia, it does not like disappear 100%, even though they keep saying my numbers continue to drop and they're having a harder time to trace, which is good. It does live in my central nervous system, which is really awesome to hear this last time because I just had a report and they said that they had what they call it small traceable amounts, which I thought was really awesome. So even more so with what I'm doing and everything that I have been doing with the food, understanding even food on a deeper level as I continue my plant-based coaching. It's been an awesome ride the past 12 months to watch the numbers. And right now I'm just a case study for them. I will finish out my last few years with that case study, and I know they'll never report that case study because they don't want everyone to know how you can actually heal with food. So that's why I'm out here. That's why I'm here. I want to make sure I share this journey with everybody so that you understand how you can use food, farm to table food, soil to table food to actually heal your body. All right. So we're talking about the nervous system today. Yesterday we talked about how the nervous system actually functions, why it functions the way it does, how it can become overloaded very easily. The smallest little thing that you think would not bother you, believe me, it bothers you. You may think it doesn't, but in some small way it does. And that one small thing that nags you in the back of your head, well, that's the one small thing that's breaking down your immune system. Whether it's you noticing in the middle of the night you're waking up when you didn't used to, whether you are more fatigued than you have been, whether it is appetite changes, whether you're just a little more on edge than you typically would be. These are little indicatory factors that the nervous system is flipping a switch and that there's a problem. Okay? So these are the little things. So your cravings intensify, your appetite, like I said, it becomes real chaotic, it changes. You may even notice in the back of your throat when you're eating, when you're, tasting, you have a little bit of differential changes in the food taste. Digestion weakens, so you start having more either irritable bowel, or you start having diarrhea, or you start having more constipation. There are digestion changes. Okay, sleep becomes lighter. You're not sleeping as well. Like I said, you're waking up in the middle of the night. Typically, you wouldn't do that, or maybe you're just not sleeping past 3 a.m. I had a client that couldn't get past the 3 a.m. mark. Would go to bed at 9 o'clock at night, 10 o'clock at night, and 3 a.m. was up, and it was every single day that it was happening. And we finally, after that second month of working with me, was able to get that sleep through the night once that person made a decision to actually follow the regimen of what was working and wasn't working. Here's the thing, guys. You have foods right now that are not working for you, and yet you continue to eat them. You don't realize they're not in your favor, okay? And this is the reason why you're continuing to have those issues and concerns, because you are not noticing that the foods you're actually taking in are not helping you. So when we actually start to recognize those foods and see those foods as to what they are doing, and we take them out of the plan of what you're eating and substitute with better, more healthier food, of course, then we start seeing the value of what works and how much more energy we have, how we sleep better, how our digestive issues get more under control, better regulation. Again, more energy, less fatigue, all the above. So, other changes is that your body has fewer reserves to recover. Okay, so when that nervous system is broken down like it is, the nervous system can't recover as quickly until we resolve the issue. All right. All right. So, sorry, I took down my Christmas tree, so I've got a little snow on me. So here's the question. How many of you out here are trying to eat perfect? It's the 2026 year and you're like, I'm going to do everything right. I'm going to get my fruits. I'm going to get my vegetables. I'm going to make sure I've got the protein. But do you know how to utilize those foods in the right way? Because here's the thing, if you're not utilizing these foods in the proper fashion that they need to be utilized for your body, it's still not going to work. You're still not going to lose weight. You're still not getting healthy. You're still not seeing the value to the food that you're trying to actually place in front of you because you don't know how to use it the right way. And that is what happens. We do not have the proper schooling and classes out here that we really, really need to teach how to eat the right foods that are for us. So that is one of the things that I do is I offer classes on how to eat certain foods, which way to eat them, why to eat them, when to eat them. That is super important. Knowing when to eat the right foods is very, very important. But first you got to know your body. Okay. How much of your nervous system is on overload right now? How stressed are you? How overworked are you? These are things that we must know in order to get you headed in the right direction. Okay? All right. Oh boy. I keep telling my husband that every little noise, hopefully, him slamming the door shut because of the wind didn't come through. Anyway, let's go ahead and let's keep this conversation going. Guys, if you have questions, put your questions in the comments here. Let's get those questions answered. Once again, if you would like to be a part of the Daily Bite, if you would like to be a part of this podcast, if you have a question, right now you can go ahead, bring your question into the comments. If you would like to have that question answered and be a part of the hosting process here, you can do that as well. If you would really like to have a deep in-depth conversation or a coaching session online here on the podcast, you can do that as well. Just tap that link above, pick the package you'd like to come in on, the priority basically that you'd like to be with, and let's have that conversation. Let's open it up. All right, so again, this is your time to get your questions answered. So if you have questions, put them in the comments. Let's get those answered for you. If you're having health concerns, issues, want to know if certain foods are or are not working for you, let's have those conversations. Let's get into the comments here. All right, so I want to talk about one small shift that you can make today that will help you just make some small changes and actually, help you in the process of moving in a healthier direction. Okay, so guys, again, let me review this. Every morning at 9 a.m., I have a daily bite that comes out to you, and you can get a little bit of education on something that you can do in your health change day to make it easier and healthier for you in a process, one decision at a time. We talk about that. The other side of it then is that I come out here typically at 10 a.m. Like I said, today's conversation probably should have been about, people getting in your pathway and trying to halt what you do. That's what today's conversation should have been about. And we can still have that conversation if anybody needs that conversation today. So every time I tried to get to you all at 10 a.m., there was an obstacle. So I took the success, though. We're here. We made it. So we are here. I will not leave you, I promise. I will be here in one way, shape, or form. You can always follow my stories, or if you're subscribed, you can also get all the updates in advance and always know what's going on. All right. So let's talk about one small shift that we can make today to actually protect our nervous system. All right. Let's talk about the 30-minute wind down. Now, this is something I go over in great length and detail in my group coaching and in my one-on-one. So if you'd like to know more about the group coaching, you know what to do. All right. 30-minute wind down. Let's talk about it. Lights down. Lights down. Why? Because when the lights go down 2 hours prior to bedtime, the body, the nervous system starts to calm down. And with that comes 3 slow, deep breaths. 2 hours prior to bed, lights go down, we start doing deep breathing. So every hour, 2 hours prior to bedtime, 3 slow, deep breaths. Just relaxing. Choose to read a book. Don't be on the phone. I know. I'm just as bad sometimes, guys, okay? It happens. We're human. We're human. We want to know, did somebody answer our email? Did somebody answer our text? Did somebody, try to call? What did they post on my Facebook? What did they say here? What did they say there? We are so go, 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 go. We don't even take the time to put a routine in place to have that 2 hour mark prior to bed. Most of us, I hope, have a routine bedtime, but I have met so many people in my clientele that do not have routine bedtime and do not understand until I start educating and explaining and showing why it's important. And this is the reason why we are so unhealthy today. It's one part of the reason. We'll get into the other parts as we continue through 2026. All right. Another one is, like I said, phones away, screens away, no TV. If you have a TV in your bedroom, get it out of there. Get it out of there. That is the worst thing that you can do, is have a TV in your bedroom. Now, I'm going to say this. I do have a TV in my bedroom, but it does not go on in my bedroom. It can come on in the morning after everyone has awakened, or it can come on to be seen, watch the news, whatever in the morning, see the weather. I have certain criteria that it can be seen. But at nighttime, no TV on in the bedroom. It's a disturbance. It's a disturbance to the mind. It's not a calming time for everyone involved, and it disrupts the brain patterns. And again, if you are someone, as I spoke about yesterday, if you are someone who is subject to, has a family history of Alzheimer's and Parkinson's, this 30-minute wind down is vitally important for you, as well as what I'm going to tell you next. So, the last part of the process is hydration. Hydration. That 30-minute wind down, let me go over it again. Lights down, screens away, no TVs in the bedroom. 3 slow breaths every hour for the last 2 hours before you go to bed, with the calming of the lights, you calming down in some way, shape, or form. No phone in front of you, no computer in front of you, no TV in front of you. Find a way to meditate for the last 2 hours before you go to bed. Get yourself into that calm state. It's important. It's very important, especially in today's world, because we're so plugged in, literally plugged in. And if we don't take those last 2 hours before bed to wind down, this is what's causing the nervous system to not shut down and actually go through its rejuvenation process like it needs to. Now, we'll talk about the food part here in a minute, but the last part is hydration. Make sure that you have water at bedside. It's important for so many reasons. All right, so again, I'm not tossing you any fluff. I'm just sitting here trying to give you how to repair, okay? Get that body moving out of that fight or flight and actually start repairing the body, okay? The 30-minute wind down, it works if you just will take the time to create the habit, okay? That's really what it all boils down to. Will you take the time to create the habit? All right, so we're going to talk about what foods actually support this process. Sorry, guys. My lips need hydration. Right. Much better. Much better. All right, so let's talk about the food that actually supports this nervous system process, right? I'm not going to talk about blood sugar and all that. We're going to talk about how to actually, again, create your plate. All right. So again, I'm going to go over this. I do a much lengthy master class on this topic, just so you know, on how to plate your food. I speak upon how much you should have. I break it down per disease process as to what you should have, but I'm going to give the general to everyone out here so that your body can go into a rebuild process. Again, if you use that 30-minute wind down, that will greatly, if you can just create the habit, try one at a time. Choose one that works for you. If it's water at the bedside and you want to try that for 30 days to see how that works for you, great, go for it. You want to 30 days, put the phone away for the first, the last 2 hours before we go to bed. Great. Try that habit. See how that works. Put it in a box, put it away, and spend that last 2 hours in some type of meditative, calm state so you can bring that nervous system down to a resting rate. Okay. Or if you just want to try the slow breathing and the meditation for the last 2 hours before you go to bed. Why do I say 2 hours prior to bedtime? Number one, I hope you have a created bedtime. All right. So is 8 p.m. your bedtime? Great. Then at 6 p.m. you need to start doing the wind down. If 9 is your bedtime, then at 7 p.m. start that wind down. Now I know you're like, wait, I'm still, having dinner at that time. Make adjustments because it is important. Obviously, what you're currently doing is not working. Okay? Cortisol levels are high. You're with disease process at this point. You're seeing the doctor at least once a month, sometimes twice a month. If you want to continue those processes, great. Continue to do what you do. If you want to stop and make changes, then this is the time to listen and make changes. Okay? So 30-minute wind down. Try that. See how that works for you. Stay right here because we're going to keep talking about it throughout the month of January. All right, let's talk about the food. Food that supports this during the process. Again, when you're plating your food, you have a 12 o'clock hour, you have a 3 o'clock hour, you have a 6 o'clock hour, and you have a 9 o'clock hour. Simplest way to put this. At the 12 o'clock hour, you need to have 20 to 30 grams of protein sitting at that 12 o'clock hour at every single plate. Okay? Some way, shape, or form. Whether it's plant-based, whether it's, red meat, carnivore, whatever. Make it happen. Okay? Now, I'm plant-based, so I do things differently. So that's a conversation that you want to have. We can have it. Again, everybody's different. What works for you doesn't work for me. What works for me doesn't work for you. That's why we sit down together and we find out how you actually function and work. Okay? Because we are going to fix it together. All right. At the 3 o'clock hour, this is where your fiber is. Okay? All your fibrous foods, right? Your broccoli, your cauliflower, your Brussels sprouts, leafy greens, bok choy, things like that, right? All right. Then at your 6 o'clock hour, this is where your omega-3 fatty acids need to be. Okay. Right. Omega-3 fatty acids. You need those omega-3 fatty acids. Why? Again, I pointed out yesterday, I pointed out earlier in this conversation. If you are someone who is with a family history of Parkinson's and Alzheimer's, overall, everyone needs to be taking omega-3 fatty acids, a good quality one. If you want to know a good quality one, you can reach out to me. I can actually give you one that you can test to know if it's working or not. Well, we can test any of them, but if you want to know how one's really working, let me know. There is a test that you can do. I'm going to talk about this briefly, okay? Only because TikTok likes to stream me down when I do this. So I'm going to show this very quickly. If you are someone who wants to know that if you're loaded in saturated fat, this is a test that you can take. This tells me everything about who and what you are and what you're doing and how poorly you are or are not eating. Okay, that is a test that you can take. It is in home. That is an in-home test that you can take. It will come to your door. You can do it. You can send it off, and you'll get your results via email. It's a very simple test. Poke your finger, drop 2 drops of blood on the card, send it off, and you have your results in 7 days. All right, so I went through the plate process, why it's important. let's talk about omega-3 fatty acids just really quickly to give you the idea of what you're missing out on or what you could be experiencing. So if you've got brain fog, if you have been noticing that waking up is a little confusing, it takes you a little bit to kind of get your head about you. If you have been noticing that things just aren't recollecting as well as they used to, many people would pass this off as old age, but this is not the case. I mean, old age plays a part. What I'm trying to say is that you're very, very low on omega-3 fatty acids, and you are highly, highly saturated in fat. Okay. So how do you know? You can take a test. It comes to your home. You can take that test. Like I said, literally, I can show you really quickly without showing you. Like I said, because TikTok likes to streamline me, but this is the test. You can quickly come in here. There is a card. The card has a number on it for you to get online to see your results. But on the opposite side of the card that you tear off to send back, that's where you just take this lancet, poke your finger, drop a few drops of blood on it, saturate those two areas, send it off, and guess what? You have all the knowledge of whether you are highly saturated or if you are actually healthy. It will tell you how healthy you are, whether your brain's protected or not protected. It will tell you if you have any kind of immune protection. We also have an HbA1c test, we have a vitamin D test, and we have a gut health test. They all work in the same way. All right, guys, you can reach out. We can have those conversations, or you can get into my website and you can get that knowledge. All right, so 12 o'clock hours protein, 3 o'clock hours fiber, 6 o'clock hour is your omega-3 fatty acids, and at the 9 o'clock hour of your plate, you need your complex carbs, okay? Yes, not simple carbs, complex carbs. All right, you need a quarter of a cup a day in complex carbs. All right, needed to get that out of my ear really quickly. It was beeping in my ear. All right. So again, this is how you create resilience. This is how you don't overcomplicate things. This is a simple, simple process. Again, if you want to know more, if you're ready to dive into your health, if you're ready to take action, you know what to do. Get up in there, come into the group coaching called The Daily Plate. And we meet every Friday at 11 a.m. Central Time. And we discuss your health, your problems, and you have so much love and so much support in that group. Not only that, but I have a doctor on staff in that group. I have a functional medicine doctor in that group. I actually have two. I just grabbed my second functional medicine doctor in that group that started just the other day. So I'm super excited to have both these doctors in this group being here to help you all. All right, guys. So any questions, put them in the comments. Let's have those questions. Go ahead. Fire off. Stay hydrated. It is wintertime. All right. If we don't have any questions, remember, you can always go up to the link in the bio. You can get your question answered in a priority setting that you choose. And you can also be a part of the podcast, design the podcast in conversation as well. So just go up to the link up in my bio, go put your priority question in there, and let us know what it is you would like to talk about. If you would like a coaching session on our podcast, you're able to have that as well. We will not, go into the deep depths, but we will do a basically mini coaching session here online if that's what you would like to do. If that's something that interests you, just tap up in there and make that happen. All right, guys, I hope you enjoyed this conversation today about the nervous system. Hopefully it's helped you take one small piece of action today to create a healthier way for 2026. I'll be back tomorrow morning at 10 a.m. I will let you know I will not be available on Monday. Again, one of those obstacles that was in the way today. Unfortunately, my father needs someone to take him to the retinal doctor. Unfortunately, with his diabetes, he has had a retinal detachment. So this is what happens when we don't want to eat or learn how to handle our sugars the right way. This is what occurs. So he has asked me to take him to the retinal doctor, which I will be doing Monday. So I will not be here Monday, but I will be back Tuesday morning at 10 a.m. So I'll be here tomorrow at 10 a.m. I'll remind you that I won't be here on Monday, but we will be back on Tuesday. So again, if you'd like to have a special question answered or you'd like to be a part of the podcast, please go up into the link in my bio. Go up in there and choose your priority to how you would like to be on this podcast, and we will get you featured. You'll get a shout out. That brings people to you, brings them to your page, gets you seen, gets you growing here on TikTok as well. All right, guys, have a beautiful and wonderful day. I hope that this has helped someone in some way, and if it has, please let me know. Bye, guys. That's your Daily Bite for today. That's healing, one bite at a time.